The Illinois Supreme Court has overturned actor Jussie Smollett's conviction for lying about a 2019 hate crime hoax. The court ruling a deal on the initial charges should have prevented Smollett from being prosecuted further.
Smollett was found guilty for faking a racist and homophobic attack and lying to the police. The actor has maintained his innocence. Here with us is Smollett's attorney, Tina Glandian. Thank you so much for being here with us. Can you break down for us exactly what happened here and the court's decision?
Sure. So it's actually a really basic premise, which is that when the initial 16-count indictment was filed, a few weeks after that, after some negotiations with the state attorney's office, we came to an agreement that they would be dismissing the charges against him in exchange for him forfeiting his $10,000 bond and satisfying the state's attorney's office as to community service, which he had always done but kept doing. The charges were dismissed. There was a dissatisfied, concerned citizen who petitioned the court and requested the appointment of a special prosecutor, which is highly unusual under the facts, of a case like this. But that was granted, and a special prosecutor was appointed. Ultimately indicted Jussie again, and we've been protesting this from day one, saying the second prosecution is completely illegal. It violates numerous constitutional provisions, and we've been fighting this. We've raised this numerous times before various courts, and finally yesterday the Supreme Court of Illinois agreed with us and said the second prosecution was barred because there was an agreement in place and the state is bound to honor its word.
And again, the special prosecutor in this case says he disagrees with this decision, saying it has nothing to do with Smollett's innocence. What's your response?
Well, we had raised additional grounds for the appeal, so the court didn't reach all of our issues because they decided that based on this one basis, it was overturning the convictions. But we had raised other issues about the fairness of the trial. We do believe he didn't get a fair trial, that the jury didn't hear all the evidence it should have heard, that things were improperly excluded, that the jury panel was not properly put together. And so there were a lot of additional arguments that went to the heart of what the jury actually heard. The Supreme Court yesterday didn't get to that issue. They said legally this was invalid. It violated his due process, and they based on that throughout the conviction. But we still maintain that he didn't receive a fair trial.
And he has maintained all along that he's innocent. I'm curious, though, does he stand by those statements that he made initially, his original story?
Absolutely. I mean, I can tell you this. I've been with Jussie from the start. We've spent hundreds, if not thousands of hours talking, about every detail of this case. He has vehemently denied, his any sort of participation in this as a hoax. And he has always maintained his innocence. He stands by everything that he told that jury and that he's said publicly since day one.
So does this decision clear the way for Jussie to rehabilitate his career there in Hollywood?
Well, I think that started actually a while ago. So he recently had a movie come out.
That just dropped, yeah.
Yes, and he's releasing music, and so he has a loyal fan base, and he's extremely talented. And so he's continued to do, what he does best. And, I think hopefully, obviously, this can only help matters because he was harmed substantially after everything that happened, and of course the convictions and the sentence that was imposed.
We have to talk about the civil case as well, because the city of Chicago is also suing him for the cost of the police investigation. How does this decision from the criminal case affect that civil case, or does it?
Well, we'll see what how the city wants to proceed. I hope the city does the right thing and dismisses that case at this time. Obviously, based on the decision yesterday, it's clear that he's been dragged through the mud for the last 5 years. He's incurred substantial legal fees. He spent 6 days in jail, all of which now has been said by the highest court in Illinois was completely unconstitutional. So for the city now to further proceed, we'll see what they do, but hopefully they dismiss that case immediately.
All right. Tina Glandian, thank you so much for being here with us.